Alrighty, folks, welcome back to Abdec. How is everybody doing? Last time, we solved a puzzle. We solved puzzle 49, which I guess is numbered, despite the fact it's not numbered, simply because the clue for what letters to use is like randomly at the front of the book. I think that's the kind of thing I don't really like so much. Oh, I guess I already had the book folder like this. Like it's a bit like it's just a bit weird that like there's a random, like I obviously noticed it when I was starting the book. I was reading through every page, looking at everything, but it's just a bit random that like what connects this page to that page with just the 49 here. There's like no other reason to expect that. So if somebody hadn't noticed that, it would be a bit frustrating, I think. This is like, once again, like I always call it pixel hunting. Because like I always find that basically the properties that people apply to pixel hunting in like a point and click game or whatever, it's basically just there's a thing that you need, and in order to find it, you sort of have to like search everywhere because there's no other indication about where to find it. This would be pixel hunting, in my opinion. Fortunately, it wasn't a problem for me because I noticed it, but otherwise, it's pixel hunting. So we know we can solve these. Kinda. And we know they're effectively still numbered. I don't know. So I can kind of get why that one wouldn't be numbered, because otherwise the number would be on the grid. I don't know why this one isn't numbered, because it very much seems like it's, it seems to be a puzzle. Or two puzzles or something. This is the one I'm most interested in continuing with. I still don't have good ideas for the portal paths. So I think I'm going to continue with the scrap pages first. I genuinely don't know what it could mean. Like the reason I was thinking about the idea that like maybe you have to project to the line is because in theory that rule would work for, where even is the other book? Oh, it's over here. Okay. That rule would work here. Like, where we're projecting from the portal to the first grid cell that we hit. So like that's why I was thinking like, oh, maybe you just have to project forwards. Like that's a way of making it so that the rule that I have still works. I just like am kind of expanding on it, kind of generalizing it a little bit more. But we found that didn't work. So, oh dear. So yeah, because that's kind of my expectation, is that I need to generalize the rule in some way, but it's not on the grid. It's on the invisible grid outside the grid. And all I know is that what do I know? What I know is that sorry, I was just like, my mind was wandering. The adults want to walk on every grid cell within the region they're in, either an unshaded region or a shaded region. And that's why last time I was thinking about like, well, I don't like it for many reasons, but like placing the shapes, the A's and the B's down here, because that would create a shaded region that is, I guess, like I could make it grid aligned if I like just kind of imagine the grid extending outwards, and since these are grid aligned, it would sort of work. But I have no reason to believe. I mean, there's just fundamental problems with that. i.e., I'd be reusing the letters multiple times for a puzzle, or like we did on that other puzzle, there were many different ways of solving that. I'm sure that would be true with any of them. I mean, yeah, easily, right? Like, just imagine it here as well. Want to get from there to there? Okay, let's put a B down, how much do we want to scale the B? I don't think it really matters. I could put a B that's like a small b, and I'm pretty sure with this many A's I could get over to this. B, A, 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 and we just have to make sure there wasn't like a sticky out bit, I guess. But it also just doesn't make sense as a rule. I feel like whatever the rule is going to make more sense than that. Because like all of those A's could have been like flipped. But also because I've already used the letters. Like the letters are done. They're already on the grid here. It's not like if we're imagining that these are rocks that these little creatures live under, it's not like we'll get duplicates of every rock. But what does it mean for the adult to be outside this space? I don't know. But the only reason I'm thinking about that idea is because it's the only way I could see that I could sort of constrain the space outside the grid into a walkable region. But there are just too many problems with it. There are just too many problems with that idea. There are just too many problems with that idea. And yeah, here there were like a million ways to get there. And I was just thinking, like for a moment, I was just thinking, what if like I have to avoid this grid? But again, this is just coming up with arbitrary rules. Like place the thing in here. I guess what would I do? Maybe I put C there, then A there to get to there, and then a smaller A maybe, and then a B. I don't know. Like it could work as a. It's hard to imagine, but I think that could potentially work as a layout. But that was just like one random layout. I feel like I could definitely come up with more. Like we could have the B going up here. We could have an A going like that, and then yeah, this is way too open. If there's no boundary, it's way too open. So it doesn't make sense at all. Also, it just doesn't match up with like what we did here. It just doesn't match up. It would be completely new rules, and that feels wrong. It feels wrong for it to be new rules. Here, we have the adult comes in onto the grid, and then they walk through every grid cell in the region that they're in. Could I be misinterpreting this somehow? Could I be misinterpreting the portals entirely somehow? Like they're not portals? What would it mean? But like it clearly works so well with this. And like this adult needs a path, therefore there needs to be some loop. So that makes it feel like they are portals. Am I misunderstanding this? I don't get how I would be. But it's also not clear like what determines which direction I come out of a portal, right? Because I was saying about how like here, you know, I go out the K leftwards, therefore I come into the K leftwards here. But as soon as we get to the next things, that like starts falling apart. Because where's the other ones? Like one, is it like 38 or something? 39. So the C would actually kind of work, but we'd be coming out that way. The 2 then went to that page that I was just on. Where was that again? A bit later, I think. Yeah, then the 2. What would that mean for the 2? Like, which way am I coming out of the 2? Is that an indication that I'm thinking of this completely wrong? Like, there's not. I mean, that must be an indication of that, because what would that mean? Yeah, about like where I'm going from there. We have no grid cell to be against. Yeah, like that, it feels like a fundamental issue. Like, okay, which way am I coming out of this to? Because that's that way around. Unless we have like a grid to go onto, I don't know which way. Which is making me think about the bus pieces again. But like, that would just be random. I guess the only way that's not, maybe not random is the, like, I guess the bus thing is what, in theory, although it didn't, in theory is what led me to go to the adult thing. Like, I could see that maybe there's like some kind of, like it's like a circle. It's like where we end where we started. We, like, in theory, if I cut these out, I would have seen the thing, but I didn't do it like that. I did it because I can see through the paper. I only cut them out separately because I thought there was going to be a separate puzzle that involved the letters that were on the thing. But then I saw through the paper the clue. I could maybe see it as like, oh yeah, because now you cut that out, that took you to the adults book, you do all the adults book, and then you have to use those to build the path. But didn't I already try that? And it was like, it was never going to work. I'm pretty sure I did. But I might give it another go because of that. It still feels a bit random. I don't think I'd be pleased if that's the answer. I can suddenly just like, because then to me, that rule would be, oh, if there's a grid on a piece of paper somewhere, I can cut it out and I can stick it on any puzzle I want and just adapt the grid, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me as a rule. Then I could just, yeah, like I was saying last time, I could just go get a nice grid. I mean, I could just go to these pages, find a bit I've not used, cut out the grid, and then place it where I need it. Although this grid's smaller, but still, I'm sure I could go find some grid paper that was about this size and get it to work. Or like cut out these three. They're not being used, so why don't I just cut those out and put them there? Like, it doesn't add up. I wasn't even going to think about the puzzles today, but now it's happening. But it doesn't. None of these ideas feel right. And again, there just wasn't enough. Like, this is all my pieces of paper. They're all up here. For all 4 of those pages where I have to like connect the puzzles together, this just wasn't enough. Like, we basically run out from this one. Like, almost. Like, we could let's do this one in the shortest possible. Ignore the letters. The letters aren't important. Let's do let's use the minimum number of things. We're basically only going to have half-hour pieces of paper left. Yes. This is going to be slightly inefficient, isn't it? Because, although, where does that actually get to? I think it's more like there. Okay, we're going to be mildly inefficient here. Get to this. Again, there's the idea that maybe we connect to this, but then the problem is that that's shaded, so this would have to be shaded, but it can't be shaded because we've already used our letters. And it's not like we can then move the shapes, because then we'd have an ambiguous solution. We'd have a non-unique solution. Yeah, so it's not like we could shade in all of these by moving some of these over there, because then, well, they could have been here or they could have been there. Okay, and so we're left with this. This is how much we've got left. We clearly couldn't possibly do all the others. We've done 1 page. We've got 3 pages left to do. Well, obviously not. Unless we can use this somehow, but then that doesn't seem to make sense, again, because of the shadedness. And it's not like there's a non-shaded path area. There's almost one if we could take diagonals, but we can't. I'm going to stop thinking about it. I'm just going to do the things. Am I even going to like the answer to that? I don't know. I mean, I like the answers to the other stuff I was stuck on. I just can't imagine I would like this. I was kind of thinking about this one, but I am also interested in thinking about the I one again. Like the most recent thought I've had about the I one is just like, what if like this would be slightly annoying, but what if the open eye is just not relevant? What if this is literally just a clue for that page, page 46, which is the same, like the puzzle number is the same one. Like, it would be pretty annoying if the open eye isn't a thing. But I guess it's possible that like this is just supposed to be like a person, so therefore they've got two eyes, but two eyes wouldn't fit in here. So it's just entirely referencing this. Feels kind of weak. Feels pretty weak. I mean, so then, okay, let's say it is literally just referencing this. What are the possible interpretations? I can think of two possible interpretations. One is we have to place this shape as it is into here, which looks like that wouldn't possibly work. Although I'll think about it a bit more. But okay, so that's like one thing. The other possibility is that it just means we're doing AAC, but we already thought about that and we realized like, oh, if it's just AAC, then we basically can do anything. Yeah, like there's clearly a billion solutions if it's just AAC. We do this, this, this. See, perfect. So it's clearly not just that. Okay, let's consider a bit more detail the idea that it could be just that shape itself scaled somehow. Where is it? Here. I mean, we need an orthogonal. Like, if we're just putting one shape in, there needs to be an orthogonal bit to it because this is the edge, this is the edge. So, no. Yeah, I can just immediately say no to that. Am I pixel hunting for an open eye? I don't know. Don't make me pixel hunt. I've already pixel hunted a lot for the open eye and not found it. Do we want to look at the front pages again in more detail? Letterbus Classic Transparent Sheet included since 1974. Letterbus 2023. Let me try to avoid the... Okay. Going off screen. Reissue of the Lost textbook, originally published in 1998. Original book's credits 4 pages ahead. Editor-in-chief, published. CIP, blah, 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 blah. ISBN number. Cobis SIID. A message from our editor-in-chief. Mrs. Roberta Chinaski, who was kind enough to allow us to scan and photograph her copy for this release. The name reminds me of have I got her name right? The woman in Donnie Darko, Roberta Sparrow? I'm gonna actually look that up. Grandma Death was her nickname. Grandma Death. And then the reason it's kind of interesting is because in Donnie Darko, although it's kind of like outside of Donnie Darko, there's like an ARG thing that involves like a book that was written by Grandma Death. Roberta Sparrow. I got the name right. Huh. I wonder. That's not an intentional reference, right? But there are some interesting overlaps. Like I'm sort of imagining Roberta Chinaski here is like Roberta Sparrow. Kind enough to allow us to. What does Chinaski mean? Is it a word? Chinaski translation. Is anything coming up? Is it just a name? Usually names come from something. What does Chinaski mean? Nothing much is coming up, just like people's names. Chinaski name meaning. This says literally nothing. Great page. I was just thinking it'd be funny if it was like Sparrow in another language. Anyway, little more than 2 decades, most of the important documents and notes about the app creatures got misplaced and forgotten, in large part due to lack of public interest in funding. Major research. Okay, stop covering that up. Well, the AB, people who also wrote the Abdec textbook disappeared in November 1999 when they jointly descended into karst caves in Slovenia to investigate the site of the last AB sighting. Due to all original contributors missing, we couldn't verify or correct any info, so we present the book unaltered as owned by Mrs. Chinaski, with burnt and missing pages, scribbles, and additional annotated paper scraps found in between the pages. This book is as much a reissue of a historical document as it is a plea to you, the reader. With Abdec, we finally have a chance to regain the lost knowledge. Okay, we've got these other like pretend books, Lock 2 Tlack. We've got the BEA 49. What's that? What is that red thing? Is it like a creature with wings or something? Do these Abdecs eventually fly? That's not like an icon of something, right? Have we seen that before? I think we've seen that before. It's kind of curious, isn't it? The red thing. It looks like a creature with wings. I could imagine this creature evolving into that or something. The writing system of the AB creatures, 44 exercises in AB typography for old and young scholars, compiled and curated by Blaj Urban-Grasser. Oh wait, I missed a page, didn't I? This one. SIDAC. Oh yeah, it's this. Help of Slovenian Association for Conservation of the AB Culture. Yeah, okay. So we have Deasovi, or never sure how to pronounce your username, responsible for the pain I had in Puzzle 39 and beyond. 48. Yeah, so I remember that puzzle coming up. Wait, no, 48. Huh. Oh, that's the reflection one. That's curious. That's interesting to think about. Discovery of the mechanic. Okay. And hey, this proves that it has a number. 48. Okay, all these people. Yep, I know many of them. I know many of these people. Let this one be the last one. Is this a clue for a puzzle or not? Is it just like... last one is underlined. Let this one be the last one. Let this one be the last one. Again, the printing is great in terms of that look. It does look like a pencil has been scrawled on. Let this one be the last one. Like the last puzzle in the book. I don't know what that would mean. Let this one be the last one. And then there's a bunch of scribbled out numbers, but they're just numbers. And letters. Difficulty 4 stars. What are you on about? More like 50 million stars. And then we'll just set this bit. Hey, look, do we have like a counting system? Oh. Oh. Is 4 just B and a C? That wouldn't work. That would be 2. Because we do have to hit those dots. So, wait, but what does that mean then? Because it's like one symbol on the grid. Does it just have to be a 4 long line? But that wouldn't make sense. We could scale up. That also wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense because that's the right side it is. So smudged. Like scale up, we would end up hitting like that much stuff in either direction because it's square. And then we can't fit a C in. Well, I mean, we can like this, but then what? It's kind of interesting that there does seem to be a numbering system at the start. Like the other option is it's just like this, or like, I guess there was like a gap between them. So like maybe you're allowed to do, but this obviously just doesn't work in any way, but like maybe you're allowed to do a 4 like this, and that counts as being part of that shape in some way. That would be a bit weird. But also, I don't see how I'd make that work. Feels like there's something to that though. Like, why would that be there otherwise? It's clearly like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Do we require orthogonal things? We do for this thing, yeah. Scaling up a 4. Yeah, scaling up a 4 would make it an 8 orthogonally. No, I can't see a way that could work. I had that other idea of like, what if it's puzzle 4? What about page 4? Page 4 doesn't have a puzzle on it. But I mean, which one is page 4? 7, 6, 5. What's the one with the numbers on it? I mean, maybe that's my set of shapes I can use. So yeah, the only reason we're missing pages here is because they're burnt off. Like the page number would have been here. Maybe I can use these shapes, like a 2 long thing. But again, what would that mean in terms of like there's a symbol on the grid? Yeah, that would make sense. That would not make sense. It does seem like you're intentionally hiding the page number from me, though. It's good that it's like the matching burn on both sides. I should like cut them out so it's like realistic. I don't understand. Sure, page 4 has these on it, but there's no way to map to like place those into that grid. Puzzle 4 has a shape. Which I already tried to make work. Should we try it again? Again, if I just have like multiple shapes, I don't know how I would apply them to that puzzle because the numbers in a particular cell. Like it could be that cell needs to be in a region that is made up of an AABB, but that feels a bit flimsy. I mean, I'll consider it though in a minute. Where am I? Here. So again, to hit that one on the top left, we can't scale this up because it would be 4. To hit the one on the top left, we have to position this in such a way that the corner is covered. Oh, and everything needs to be scaled down. So, so what is that? So that would have been 2. So 2. Okay, so that shape, let's rotate it around. There the corner is hit. The only other corner that could hit it is this one. So the problem with this is that that's left uncovered. Only other corner that could hit it is that one, which hits both of those. Wait, does that work? No. Well, maybe. So there's also flipping it. Hold on. So flipping it, but that also hits those two, and it would be. It would give a symmetric solution, as far as I can tell, because the constraints on this shape would be identical. Yeah, because the edge of this is the same in both cases. So that leads me to think that I'm completely on the wrong lines. Again, which side's the side? Yeah, okay. That could rotate around, be like that. It also hits them, and again, also leaves the shape over here. I mean, so then the thing to think about there then is like, let's say that shape is, let's just say that shape is on there like that, right? What does that mean about covering this with the same shape? Well, it can't hit here. So we'd have to use like this sticky out bit. We basically don't want a corner here. So it'd have to be that, or that. But yes, either way, it's the sticky out bit. We'd have that shape. Then it would come down here. This is like close to something, but it's ambiguous, so it feels wrong. So then here there's like a, depending on how I flip this, it could be there. Like this notch here could be here or it could be here. And then that square would either be there or there. Both of those would be fine. And again, that could have been flipped in a couple of ways. Like in 4 ways, I think. Oh wait, sorry, that's not right in that position because it doesn't cover the thing. Whoops, I should have put it in an actually correct position. I think there are 2. There are 2 ways it can be oriented, right? One is this. Yep, and then this can just be rotated around. It would fit there. And then the other is this. And that can just be flipped around and go there. Yeah, so there's like, there are 4 solutions because each one of these has 2 positions it can be in. Does that work? Oh yeah, that works as well. So no, that's even worse. There are 3 that this one can be in, and in all of those positions there are 2 that this one can be in. So not that. Yeah, it's just not that. What were the shapes? They were A. Which side is this on? That side. Okay. Like, yeah, maybe I just need to. No, because if it was okay, so if it were just a case of like, oh, I can use the same letters, and I can place them, and I just have to make a region out of those letters surrounding the 4, then. Then I could just make the same shapes I was just placing, and then we'd have the same ambiguity. Okay, so that isn't that for sure. What is it then? 4. What else could 4 mean? Again, that page 4 with the potentially numeral system on it. Like they aren't spaced, like they don't have a full gap between them. But like, again, like if I just make a long shape, like maybe it just means it needs to be 4 size, but that doesn't make sense. A 4 size thing couldn't hit that and that. Also, size changes based on scale, and scale is something we're allowed to do. Oh, I don't know what this would mean. I don't know what that would mean. This one. ABD. And this is a discovered mechanic. Something about reflections. Something interesting about reflections. What would it be? I know I can reflect the things. Am I supposed to find a... No, I thought about this before. I was like, oh, am I first find a solution that when reflected over works on both? But that would just be equivalent to putting A there, and it just wouldn't be interesting, right? Is it just 2 separate puzzles? So, okay, what happens if I try... I know I've done this before, but I need to do it again. What happens if I just try and solve this, like, in the most basic way? Well, that B has to be scaled down, and it has to be orthogonal. Therefore, it has to go and hit this. B there. Well, it doesn't have to go and hit that. It could have gone the other way. That is an option. And the D over here is at most 3 big, unless it's at an angle. But I think at an angle it can't really do much good. It'll end up intersecting these in awkward ways. So I don't know, you could do like... What does D look like again? Like this. And then A can go... We go, perfect. Okay. ABD. Unless you're suggesting... Like those A's do look different. Why do they look different? Do we have A's scribbled anywhere else? Only my own A. I guess it's supposed to just be giving it a hand-drawn style, so each one's slightly different. Because the only thing I do think is that it looks a lot like a 2. But I guess I don't know what the numbers mean either. If you're going to draw an A, like what does one of those A's look like? Serif A. Yeah, no, it does look like that. Is it just an A? It's probably just an A. What I was thinking is like maybe because like this flipped, that would be a B and that would be a D. But then the A wouldn't be. I mean, I guess it's an E upside down. P and Q. So one of the tricky things with this one, well, for both of them, is that this and this are both require an orthogonal shape on them, which is clearly isn't going to be the B. I mean, I guess an A could hit those two. What, and then a B, then a D somehow hits. Like, clearly there's something else going on here. I'm imagining, like, what if a mirror was here? Like, what would that mean? It wouldn't mean anything. It genuinely wouldn't mean anything. I just see a reflection of this puzzle over there. But like, since the puzzles work in reflection, because the letters can be reflected, like, so what? And we've got the same letters on both puzzles. So it's not like, oh, I flip this and then I apply these letters to that. No, that wouldn't make sense because it's the same letters. A, B, D. These are identical, right? Yeah, they are the same shape. Yep. Except for the A and the B and the D. So is it relevant that like we've got 3 letters A, B, and D, but they're split up across the puzzles like this? Is that relevant somehow? Again, if it was just a case of like, oh, we need to make it satisfy both, then it's the same as just putting the A in there. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't solvable. I don't know for certain, but pretty sure. What's with this like sticky up bit at the top? That is pretty weird. Sticky up bit at the top. Let's think about the one on the right. Like if an A needs to cover that, like it's going to end up being adjacent to some of these ab creatures. So therefore it's going to have to like cover some of them. So it's going to have to be scaled up in some way. But even when it's scaled up, it's going to touch some of these. Yeah, I'm not sure I can even think of a position that A could be in that would not have some of these on its edge. Like, I'm thinking things like this, like that, but that's on its edge, and that's on its edge. Same there, same there. Okay, let's just rotate it around, see what happens. Same there, same there. Same. What was there a way of I could have slid that way as well? Same there. Can't slide it any other way. Same there, same there. Can't slide it any other way. Same there, same there, same there, same there, same there. That's all the places I can slide that to. Okay, flip it over. Oh, but flipping over is the same. Okay. So there is no way to put an A in there. Okay, so then it has to be at an angle. If it's at an angle, what does that mean? That means something like, which side is this on here? It's on that side. Okay. Something like, no. It's kind of hard to find a position that would work. I mean, scaled up is just not going to work as well. Well, unless we do a small scaled up. What does small scaled up look like? I mean, we just end up intersecting stuff badly though. In fact, we can't do a small. No, we can do a small scaled up. I mean, other than the bad intersecting, but something like that, but not that. But I guess I can rotate that around and move it around and see what happens. So there's only two spaces here that. So those two are the two spaces that A could be in. As in the A that's in the grid, because the others are all partially shaded cells. But both those cases, we intersect stuff. Okay, let's just rotate this around then and do that for them. So it's like this, partially intersected, or this, partially intersected. This, partially intersected, this outside the grid. It's not looking hopeful, is it? This partially intersected, this partially intersected. Okay, well that's it. That's everything. I mean, I guess there are other angles. Guess there are other angles. I don't know, like this one. What? I mean, it's immediately going outside the grid, but I guess I can draw it and then move it. What, am I going to fit a B and a D in there? No, I'm not, clearly. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Do I just stop? Maybe I just stop. Maybe I just take my current stage of completion as completion. I can't fit a 3 scaled up A in there for sure, and the other letters just wouldn't fit at that point. What is the reflection all about? Like, I get what you're indicating, they're a reflection of each other, but why is that interesting? Why would that be interesting? Again, the symbols can be rotated anyway, so who cares? Am I supposed to? Again, I don't know what that would mean, but I was just thinking is like maybe if we flip this over here, we get a B here, basically. So then maybe there has to be a B there, and there has to be a D here. But I don't know what that would mean for A. We get a backwards A? A 6? So that doesn't make sense either, does it? That's not even an E. It's a 9. It's a 6 or a 9. I'm going to have to stop. No progress today, folks. I've tried them all, right? I tried that, I tried that. Oh, I didn't try the... Oh, gosh, I have no idea about the 3D one. Genuinely no idea. Don't know what that open eye means. If it means anything. It must mean something. Where is the open eye? There's not an open eye in the lock book, is there? Be right back. Okay, folks, we're looking at lock again. Just in case. There could be like a cross book thing. Eye. An open eye. Could there be a thing on the website? I hope not. Why are there like... Oh, they can't be solved. Interesting. That was a weird thing for that book to do. Unsolvable puzzles. There were secrets in this that I never did. You're making me just pixel hunt. Maybe I should stop. Just take everything I've done as a win. Sorry, I should put like probably so you can see it as well. Rules, solutions. This book actually had all the solutions. Expansions. Oh gosh, I never did that. What's that? Well, we're not doing that, sorry. Yeah, I never did this as well. No, there's no I in there. Should we go on the website? If we're like ARGing stuff. Abdec. Any eyes around here? I mean, that puzzle is featured on the page. I'm not seeing anything notable. I'm seeing one thing notable. Thinky Awards Best Pen and Paper Puzzle. I mean, for context, it's the awards that I organised. Although I didn't vote on this because I hadn't played it at the time. What's this? Is this just one of the answers? Probably just one of the answers. They've got the let this be the last one here. Like at the point that I'm like searching through the website for stuff, this has gone too far, right? There's no other way to describe it. We've certainly gone too far. Yeah, that's it for today. Goodbye, folks.